Hey everybody, this is Fabian with the A.O.U, Amandla Of Umgwamanda. Today we're going to be doing a video on policies and standards of the foundation. Got my notes to the side, trying to get all this information out for everybody. Been busy getting some stuff together and spreading the word. If you've seen the other videos, door-to-door videos. So yeah, thanks for everybody who's been checking them out, contacting, you know. So this is video 4 of the introduction videos that have been produced. This video again is just to inform the community of our services and the overview. Today video will discuss policies and standards. The first part that we will be discussing will be over the conduct of the members of the organization and what we hold ourselves to and agree to. Not only do we, just hold ourselves to this and say we're going to do it, we're going to agree to do this. So that's a lot of things that will occur. Like for a lot of companies, foundations, is just taking on a person's word, and we take you on your word and we hold you accountable by you agreeing to following through your word. So that's one thing that's a little bit different about our foundation, because we really hold people accountable. Now, to go through the policies and standards, now, this is a key part to our foundation. If this part is lacking, we can't implement a productive foundation. That's just the way it is. Just like if another key factor of the organization isn't implemented correctly, it's not going to produce the most productive result. Maybe not even a productive result. So this is why we do this. Now this is making the foundation to its utmost best. Now I'm going to read off some of the policies. The A.O.U mandates that all policies and standards and code of standards are met and adhered to for quality reasons, as well as we'll go through skill levels test too with the individual too, because when we get somebody coming in, we want to understand their skill level too. What is the most productive way to implement and incorporate this individual into the organization? So, if you come with an apprenticeship, or you come with, just a person who's trying to join the organization to help out the community, we want to place you in the utmost position that is going to be the most productive for yourself and ours in the community at the end of the day. That's why we implement a test. You gotta understand your basic skill level or your skill level. The A.O.U requires open discussion about your background, whatever it may be, and we're going to do a background check that has to be documented, because we want all the individuals to know a little bit about each other, and on top, we want you to be able to provide services to the organization and the community without any problems from your background. If you have some issues that are workable, we don't mind working with you. But if you have some issues, if a member has issues that are just too much of a burden that we can't carry on, you can probably help from a distance, be a founder, give us some information, do some research for us. But being hands-on, if your background doesn't clear out, or if you can't require a suitable background check, with documentation, we can only go so far with that individual. So just to keep up the image and the integrity of the organization. So that's another thing. So I'm going to turn the page. Got 3 pages of notes here. The foundation is complete drug-free foundation, so um, no alcohol abuse, minimal alcohol if you want to drink. We would prefer no drug use whatsoever. It goes from weed, heroin, um, um, pills, whatever it may be that's a hindering drug and a legal drug. We do not want to associate ourselves with or be around individuals that are members in the foundation to be intoxicated with the following drugs that I spoke of. Um, we are going to pursue a cigarette-free environment as well, because we don't want to promote um, cigarette use to the youth. Even though because some of their favorite individuals in the program might be, a cigarette smoker, and and they might want to mimic the behavior of that individual. And even though the individual is doing it, say outside, across the street, and they seem like, they want to, basically be that individual almost, because they look up to them. So we really are pushing for drug-free, alcohol-free, and a cigarette-free environment. If we can, drug-free 100%, no questions about that. And alcohol, we don't prefer you to drink, but in reason, that's okay. And we really want to try to promote a cigarette-free environment. We might be able to work some stuff out of program with the individuals or members who are incorporated with the program to, get them to stop smoking. So that's another thing. We'll look into that too. The A.O.U does not look upon a person's privacy as gratuitous or anything like that. This will go for the members, the family, the youth. So all members will be required to sign the confidentiality code of conduct, because we don't want to be out here telling others people's information that's personal to them. Even though this is a youth and family foundation, we hold certain things, very strong about. This is our base foundation. We can't be going around on a Friday night when one of our members are out and telling this child's information. This is not okay. That's not how you build a relationship. That comes from true intent. Everything that we do, is true intent. So we're gonna move appropriately. Now discussing the individual's problem amongst the team of the members of the A.O.U, and amongst their family and the youth, that's one thing. Or if we have a discussion group and something personal comes up and the individual cares to talk about that's not too intrusive or too much of an issue that should be, handled in privacy, due to the, logistics of the matter at hand. That's one thing. If we can talk about it in open in a group discussion, fine. But if it's something more of a private matter, we're gonna handle it from a private perspective. Now, to the last but not least, members will they must acknowledge that this is not an ego-driven type of environment. We do not operate on an ego. From my experience in some places, whether it was a school setting, whether it was a medical setting, a hospital setting, et cetera, I see the ego just thriving in these places, and at the end of the day, the patients or the individuals that you're trying to assist in your foundation or as a job setting or et cetera, they're not getting the most out of it because the ego is just thriving there, and impedes so much by doing that. And some of these people who work in these fields have personal issues that hinders their actions. To behavioral youth, somebody they're not familiar with, or is this something foreign to them, and they work with it different. They just don't. They're not at that optimal because of their ego. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. Don't matter if you're working at a fast food restaurant, um, the Fortune 500 company, egos uh, impede the progress. The most productive progress. So we're not about that whatsoever, and we developed a program to or assessment for even the members. You will be graded on your performance, and what areas of development that you need to develop in, and it's an open door policy, vice versa, from a member who just started to a senior member who's been here for a while. We all need to say, hey, I just wanted to bring to your attention how you handled this situation wasn't the most positive, and we wanted to have that open door of rationality, because that's something that's missing from a lot of these organizations. Nobody wants to be confronted with productive, um, you know, statements that will help them, and they don't want to have that dialogue, because it's just like, I don't want to hear that, but not here. We're going to follow through with all of this. Now, to move on to the youth, done with the members who basically will be, members of the organization. Now, the A.O.U policies, the code of conduct, goes right down to the youth as well. We expect and provide a service that is quality, and the services that we provide are to individuals who have that niche. They just can they want more. They just don't want to be stuck in this slumber or this stagnated atmosphere. They want to grow, develop themselves, better themselves, be more productive. So our code of conduct for the youth starts off with the dress code. It is no coming here. I'm just gonna start with the males because later on we're gonna have a female aspect too. So, but for now it's just the 6 to 18-year-old males. Sagging pants. We're not really gonna permit that. It's not. That's not the most productive thing to do. So dress code, no gang signs, or nothing like that. Violence. When you come to this location and you come to get service from us, we want the vibration to be more of a positive, balanced vibration. So we can't have all that and have an individual that's displaying themselves by their attire, in such a manner. It doesn't correlate with what we're trying to do. So that, and if a child needs assistance with clothing, say they have clothes that aren't too suitable for themselves, whether it's too small, it's too battered, it's old, it's just not the most suitable clothes for them. We can try to find some services that will provide them with clothing, or some programs. I know there's programs out in Arizona, clothing programs, so we can help them out in that aspect too. Language too, we promote a more positive dialogue with the members and the youth that attend this program. We don't want any malicious statements, any hateful statements. If an individual speaks in this setting, it's going to be productive. That's going to be a key element to our discussion groups too. How to discuss an issue with somebody in a more productive manner. We don't want somebody to just get mad like that. He looked at me or he said something to me. Now I'm just my rhetoric is just problematic. Like, so we're definitely going to be talking about that too, and we're going to be promoting that from the leadership on down to the youth and whoever is to senior youth. They can promote that too, and the youth can look up to them too. So on that aspect, I'm done with that. Junk food. Again, from the food video that was done, this is a junk food free, soda free environment. Also, we promote a healthy dietary lifestyle from a holistic perspective. Um, Basically, here, if you want cookies, like, we're gonna make some cookies, and we're gonna make them in the most health conscious way that we can. Chocolate chip cookies, peanut butter cookies, my favorite, et cetera, et cetera. So, and tea, instead of like Kool-Aid and all these sugar induced drinks, we're gonna have water, tea, juice, real juice, 100% juice, low in sugar too. So that's what we're going to promote. None of this, high saturated fats, food, heavily processed snacks. We're going to have nuts, berries, whole grain type of food, fruits and vegetables type of snacks and foods to provide for the children and the youths to help them emulate more of a positive dietary diet. So we're going to be promoting that heavy too. Um, and this goes back. My next topic go back to the group discussion and the dialogue. We want the youths to consciously think before they react. Because most people, it goes back to the ego and language. How you understand stuff. Most people don't have that aspect in their life when in developing years to emulate um, more appropriate and productive ways of dialogue with others and reaction. So we want individuals to use to think first, then react. Look at the situation from different perspectives before you react. If you need 30 seconds to think about it, take that 30 seconds, react to the most appropriate way, and then you'll see the outcome. Arguing, minimize or be no more. So we definitely are going to promote the think first, react second. And that goes back to the when you think, you're thinking from what foundation. So all the stuff that we're doing is going to create that foundation for them to be more reasonable and logical thinkers and react more reasonably and more productive. Now the next one is it goes down. It goes from the members to the youth to drug-free program, and especially some of the things are a little bit different, for the youth because they're under 21. Absolutely no cigarettes, absolutely no drugs, weed, heroin, PCP, angel dust, etc., etc. Anything that's going to impair you to be a more productive person and not allow you to think consciously, to the most productive level, you know, is not going to be permitted in our program. An alcohol-free program for the youth, no alcohol. We're gonna be working with the family to make sure this stuff is incorporated in their life, give them research, documentation on the effects of drugs, alcohol, tobacco. So we're definitely going to be informing them, not just telling them, because tell somebody that, hey, don't do this, and this is mandated, don't do this, is not the most productive way to do it. We're going to provide research to the youth to inform them on why this isn't the most productive way for a productive, marginalized person to enact or get themselves involved with. And there's plenty of examples on why they shouldn't. So that shouldn't be any problem. And then the last one I think for this one is respect for their fellow peers in their community. A lot of times in the marginalized communities, again, especially in this society, that I notice a lot. If a fight is going on, first thing that happens, I pull out my cell phone and I record it and I upload it to a website for other people to see. That is the type of behavior that we're not going to condone whatsoever. We're going to do a big program on that of respect for your fellow peers in your marginalized communities, wherever that may be. It's the respect piece that it's the non-respectfulness of an individual that allows an individual to take out their phone and record somebody who's almost about to get their jaw broken, get a concussion. Getting knocked out and getting dropped on pavement, concrete pavement, and putting the camera in their face and, laughing and saying, ooh, it's nothing funny whatsoever about this. And this all boils down to the lack of respect for themselves and their community members. So we're definitely going to be perpetuating that heavily. If you see one of your peers in your community about to get into a situation that is not so productive, take that second, go through the crowd and say, excuse me, I need to talk to him or her. I need to make sure they remember, what is the most productive thing. It's the most productive thing in this situation is to walk away. Do it. There's no need to sit there and cause bodily harm to yourself if it's not necessary. You're not in a life or danger type of situation. You can just walk away, And we want this type of family, holistic atmosphere, Each one teach one, each one help one, and it'll spread. I got one more page, and that's sums it up for the youth aspect of the program. Now, one more thing before I go, I need to say this because this still to this day, it always comes to me all the time because it was so profound, but it's nothing special, but it's still so profound to do it in this day and time because of the atmosphere that is going on across the board. This goes back to how much the ego holds people back from being the most productive as they can be. Remember, a few years ago, I saw this video on this episode of Locked Up. It's a show on NBC. NBC. And it was one of those programs where, they'll have like marginalized youth or behavioral youth go to a prison and see the lifestyle that the prisoners live in. And this is more of a fear-based thing. I might talk on this in this video for a sec. But this is a more fear-based program. Don't have behavioral issues or behave that way, or this might happen to you. You don't want to come here because this place is scary and, such and such. But one of the prisoners who was in the program, because this program, prisoners have to sign up for the program, display certain behaviors, to join the program. Any prisoner just can't join it. And one of the prisoners, inmates, got down on his knees and begged. He was like, if it's going to take for me to beg you to get down on my knees and ask you and have you understand that, hey, what you're doing is wrong and you're going to end up here and you don't want to end up here, I'll do that. I'll throw away my ego. I'll get down on my knees and do this. And, and that was so profound, because not many people in this day and time will do that. They might look at it like, hey, you can change your life, but they won't go to that effort because these individuals understand, like, hey, this is not the place you want to be. And if I have to yell at you or, tell you the harsh realities of this place, or I can just get on my knees and beg you, hey, please don't do this because this is not the most productive thing for you to do. I thought it was very profound for an individual to do, and we're gonna take some type of effort to do something like that. Just remind them, the youths and the individuals that we provide service for, that hey, people care about you out here. But again, you got to care for yourself too. And a lot of people don't care for themselves, not because they just don't care for themselves, because they don't feel themselves as worthy as being cared for. So that's another thing that we're really going to be promoting too. I think I talked about that a little bit in another video. We're definitely going to be promoting that self wealth. You know, because if you have self wealth and you doing something that's not so productive, and somebody inform you, hey, you got somebody who care about you. We want you to be the best that you can be. It'll hit more than an individual who doesn't care for themselves. Because of you know the issues in their lives, and the things they have gone through. It has just perpetuated this sense of no one cares about me, and that once that ball gets rolling, and it's been rolling for a while, that's one of the hardest things to stop. I've worked around youths in school settings that have just felt like this for some time, and to get through them will take so much. From 24-hour perspective, they need to be like in a clinical setting almost completely for 24 hours, a day, to break through all of that. Nobody cares about me. And then individuals like that are attached to certain things, that comforting thing. It might be a video game, it might be a blanket, it might be a favorite pen. This pen is always there for me. And then, because everybody wants that. Everybody wants to be cared for. And how unbelievable it might be, you might be scratching your head like, why is this person always holding this cup? Because this person has related this item or these items to, this thing cares for me. It's always here for me. So, and it can spiral down to get even more complicated and more problematic than that. So we definitely want to push the we're here for you, we care for you, from a genuine perspective. That's why we take steps of code of conduct so we can get the most productive people um, to be members of the organization, because when we're implementing a program like this, we need the most productive, balanced individuals, no ego-driven type of individuals to assist on all different type of levels. So that's why we have such a high standard for the individuals and members that we allow to join the organization, Amandla Of Umgwamanda Foundation, because it's such a heavy task that needs precision to get through. You got to be almost a specialist, almost, and you got to have a good heart, from a true perspective. Now, I guess that about sums it up. That's the video policies and code of conduct and standards and such and such. Now, we'll inform everybody who's watching this video. Thanks for watching it, first of all. That I'm in the works of talking to police departments in the Maricopa area to try to build a more positive relationship within the community, marginalized community, with police departments, because it needs work. And, a lot of times these two entities only interact when problems occur. They don't interact, when everything's fine for the most part, and you're having a good day, they're having a good day. So that's where we want to interact. We want to make sure that we're interacting all the time. So when a known officer is coming to the community, we interact with them. They understand the situation. Just to inform um, the viewers that we're going to be doing some interviews with the Tempe Police Department, Phoenix Police Department, and maybe the Mason. I'll do a video a little bit to elaborate on that. Again, it's Fabian with A.O.U. Check us out. Email us. Phone number, address, website is down here. Just check it out. Read it. Um, Check it out. If you can offer some help, assistance, um, it would be most productive for you to do that for the community, especially if you live and reside in the Maricopa area. So, love, power, respect. Peace.